Subscribe to Teckoh on YouTube or you will forever be a bot at Fortnite.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, I think I speak for everyone when I say that choking and panicking in Fortnite are some of the biggest obstacles in both casual and competitive play. And honestly, in the past, those have always been my weakest points. Whenever I used to fight other players or get into any intense situation, I would freeze up, get super nervous, and more often than not, I got killed. If you tend to get nervous, shaky, anxious, or have any other issues like those when you play, this video is for you. But real quick, one more thing before we start. If you guys would like to help support me a bit extra, consider using code Teckoh in your Fortnite item shop when you purchase stuff. It really does help me more than you think it does. But with that said, let's get right into it. The first tip of this video is basically the main reason so many pros and really good players manage to stay so calm, and that's because they force themselves into those uncomfortable situations while playing. Now, the thing is, most of these pros didn't do this on purpose. They didn't intentionally go into a game with the sole purpose of putting themselves into situations that they hated. Instead, most pros simply played the game so much that these situations just occurred. Given enough time, even the most intense and difficult situations become second nature if you've been through them enough. So that's essentially what happens with most pros. They play so much, especially in scrims, arena, and other intense game modes, where they kind of just got used to it. But luckily for you, it's still pretty easy to do this, and you can still get ahead of the curve even if you're starting now. In fact, it's actually pretty easy to do so. In reality, if you simply focus on playing the things that make you uncomfortable or make you panic and feel anxious, then you'll get a lot done. If you get nervous in solos, then play more solos. If you get nervous in tournaments, play more tournaments. Whatever makes you panic or choke, just repeat it over and over again. You'll continue to get nervous for a while, and it won't be nearly as fun, but eventually you'll get so much better because of it. I remember a really long time ago actually, in Season 3, I was trying to get my first ever solo win. I kept camping in a bush until top 10, but panicked and choked almost every single time. But I kept going, kept pushing through, kept forcing myself to play solos, and ultimately ended up winning my first solo match after quite a while. Over time, I kept grinding solos and noticed it got easier and easier to stay calm, and after a while I was getting wins over and over with ease. What are you doing here, buddy? One thing to keep in mind though, is that this won't come quickly. Don't think that just because you played a few solo matches and didn't immediately have the confidence of Mongrel, doesn't mean it won't work. It may take a few days of consistency to notice a big difference, or maybe even a week or two, maybe even a month. But it's the simple truth that if you do something repeatedly over time, it'll get easier and easier, and you'll find yourself choking less and panicking less as time goes on. Next up, I'll be talking about a sort of mentality trick that can absolutely change your entire mental game and stop you from panicking if you implement it correctly, along with helping quite a bit in avoiding rage and tilt. This mentality is known as the improvement mentality. The improvement mentality basically consists of training your brain to not only view losing in a positive light, but to take each loss as an opportunity to get better at the game. Whether you're an aspiring competitive player or if you just play the game casually, this will not only help you fix your panicking/choking issue, but help you improve drastically at the game while doing so. But with that said, I can talk about the benefits all day, but you're probably wondering, how can I actually take this and put it into practice? Now, let me tell you ahead of time, it's not super easy to do, and it will take a lot of honesty on your part. Start off by simply playing Fortnite like usual, and every single time you get killed, think about why you actually got killed, and focus on staying completely calm and collected as well during the process. Figure out exactly why you lost, and reflect on what you can do to avoid that happening and get better at the game as a result. After repeating this enough, your entire mentality on losing will change. It'll take a while, and at first it won't seem like it's working, but if you can consistently do this and focus completely on staying calm while doing so, you'll build it into a habit, and this mentality will make you so much better at the game. To actually put this mentality into play and train yourself to use it, All you have to do is build a habit of taking every loss, every death as an opportunity to improve instead of taking it as what it is on the surface, a loss. If you genuinely take the time to reflect on your losses and focus on improving, it can even be argued that at that point, losing may be more beneficial than winning. Just keep in mind when you're trying to do this that it'll take quite a bit of time, especially if you've gotten into a habit of getting mad and blaming everything but yourself. It's not a super easy thing to do, putting this mentality into action, but you can absolutely do it if you hold yourself accountable, be patient, and do this all consistently. Moving on from that, the third tip of this video is how you can actually build the necessary confidence to avoid panicking and choking as a whole. Because all things considered, if you're confident in your own abilities, then panicking and choking will go away on their own. To build confidence in Fortnite, from my personal experience and time working with aspiring competitive players, the best method is to simply perform to an extent where you just can't not be confident. The truth is, confidence isn't really something you can fake. You can act confident all you want on the surface and pretend you are, but you only have real confidence once you've proven your skill to yourself. Building real, honest confidence is definitely the hardest part about playing at a high level in Fortnite, whether you're simply going for high kill games in public matches or if you're playing tournaments and trying to make money. My best advice for building confidence in Fortnite is to first employ the improvement mentality that I talked about earlier, which actually helps a ton, but also to keep some sort of collection of past achievements and show yourself just how far you've come to reach your current state. For example, I have some clips on my computer from older seasons, and it's really motivating and interesting to go back and look at those clips once in a while to see just how far I've come and improved over time. If you do the same, I think it can definitely help you build motivation and confidence. The other way to build confidence, and probably the most consistent way, is to simply prove it to yourself through your in-game performance. Pros like Mongrel, Booga, Zexro, and so many others rarely get panicky or nervous in-game because they simply know, without a doubt from experience, that they're probably the best player in every lobby they enter. That's just the simple truth. If you continue grinding out every tournament you can, keep practicing and improving even through the panic-inducing situations, eventually you'll just be so confident from experience and from what you know that you'll rarely get nervous in the real game. So next up, the fourth tip of this video is to keep distractions available to you. When you panic or get nervous, having something around as a coping mechanism or some sort of distraction really helps you get rid of that feeling. For example, if you've ever watched Clicks during wagers or tournaments, you might notice he has a towel next to him almost all the time and uses it during his games. Sometimes he even uses it in the middle of a box fight, build fight, or even an endgame. Not only does this obviously help him get the sweat off his hands and improve his grip, but it also works as a good distraction. A few other good distractions might include a drink, some sort of squeezable stress ball, or some other object. But it doesn't even have to be an object either. Some people even listen to music, podcasts, or other things on low volume in the background because it sort of eases the level of intensity and stops them from being on edge all game. Now, while listening to background sounds isn't really the best option performance-wise, obviously it might impair your hearing during the game, and it shouldn't be used if you're in a tournament or any super serious match, it can definitely help otherwise in a lot of scenarios. But for objects, this can be really utilized at any time as long as you're not taking a sip of water while somebody's in your face in game, and honestly, it's no surprise why so many top pros do this. Moving into the fifth and final tip of this video, this one is for those situations where you really can't stay calm. This tip is, when you're starting to lose your cool and begin to panic or get nervous, simply box up and play slower. In Fortnite, you don't have to go through every single fight at an insane pace. If you're in an intense situation and you're starting to get nervous, there's absolutely nothing stopping you from resetting, calming yourself down, and continuing the fight. Now, let me clarify, this doesn't mean to try and run away if you're already fully committed to the engagement, but instead, if you're able to, try to disengage and collect yourself before going back and continuing your fight. This will allow you to heal up, reload, calm down, figure out your situation, and make a plan for the rest of your fight, as opposed to staying in the fight and trying to rush it, potentially getting yourself killed. But with that said, everyone, hopefully these 5 tips help you out to stop choking and panicking in game. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it a ton if you could drop a like on it and subscribe if you'd like to see more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support me even further, consider using code Teckoh in the Fortnite item shop. Now, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I was actually told by an anonymous source that using code Teckoh in the item shop will instantly make you stop choking in Fortnite. I can't personally promise anything, but hey, what's there to lose? But all jokes aside, guys, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.